Egypt is one of the oldest countries in the world, whose age exceeds 50 centuries. It is here that boundless deserts, majestic architectural monuments, legends of deities are wonderfully combined with elite resorts, bright hotels and wonderful beaches. Next, we will tell you about the most interesting facts about Egypt, which will introduce you more closely to this sunny country. And before the start of this video, I ask you to like and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss a new, fascinating video. It is believed that the world's first written language appeared in ancient Egypt. The first paper, papyrus, and ink were also invented there. In addition, the ancient Egyptians gave the world items such as wigs, toothbrushes and even fly swatches. Almost every one of us associates the word papyrus with ancient Egypt with its sphinx, pharaohs and scarabs. And this is natural, because much of what we know about the Egyptians, their spiritual and everyday life, humanity has learned thanks to the papyrus. In the era of ancient Egypt, there was no such thing as paper. It was invented only in the 12th century, but people's need for writing material arose much earlier when in early civilizations there was a need to keep documentation and engage in literature. In this regard, people had to use the material that was at hand for writing. For a long time, Egypt was the only country that produced papyrus, and since the first millennium BC, there was a royal monopoly on its production. Despite the appearance of parchment, papyrus was used until the 12th century, when it was finally replaced by Chinese paper. It is curious that the world-famous custom of putting an engagement ring on your ring finger was invented in ancient Egypt. Later, this tradition was adopted by the Greeks, the inhabitants of Rome, and subsequently the whole of Europe. In ancient Rome, the accessories served as a confirmation of the financial viability of citizens and the legality of transactions. The groom gave the ring to the bride's family as a declaration of his own intentions and high status. Married Roman women wore rings as a sign of belonging to their husband. They made such jewelry from unassuming iron, bronze and other base metals. The most common motif is a stylized key shape. By the turn of the Old and New Era, Roman wedding rings have become more luxurious. Rich wife owners gave their spouses rings made of gold with a rather intricate decor. They were used mainly for representative purposes, and at home they were still mostly iron. Modern Egyptians are not inferior to their ancestors in the skill of erecting colossal structures. Thus, 5 times more construction materials were used for the construction of the Aswan Dam than for the largest pyramid, the Tomb of Cheops. The height of the dam reaches 111 meters, it was built for more than 10 years and is considered the most massive architectural structure of our time. The dam is so grandiose that it is not difficult to notice it even from space. But here the interesting facts about Egypt are just beginning. Contrary to popular belief, the famous pyramids were built not by disenfranchised slaves who died by the whips of cruel overseers by the hundreds, but by experienced and skilled workers. This is exactly what modern researchers believe. The opinion about slaves was spread by Herodotus, who was born much later than the construction of tombs. Archaeologists managed to find evidence that the builders lived freely, ate quality food in special canteens and even buried them near the pharaohs themselves, which is a special honor. Crocodiles, turtles, rare species of fish, such as the Nile perch, whose mass reaches up to 142 kilograms, are found in the Nile in abundance. On average, throughout the year, the river pours about 2,000 tons of water into the sea in 1 second. Almost the entire agriculture of the country depends entirely on this river. By the way, the main pests in the fields of local farmers are hippos, which live in abundance in the Nile. In Egypt, tourists and travelers are treated very favorably. More than 12% of the total population work in the tourism sector. And if there are any problems or contradictions with visiting tourists, the local police often take the side of the tourist. When mentioning interesting facts about Egypt, most people immediately have associations with pyramids, majestic pharaohs and, of course, tourism. However, the tourism industry ranks only third in the list of the country's income. The main part of the state's profit is the fees for the passage of ships through the Suez Canal. And the second place is occupied by revenues from oil production and supplies. At the beginning of 1974, a modern plastic passport was issued in the name of the mummy of Ramses II with a photo, date of birth and indication of profession, Tsar, which was needed to deliver the remains for restoration to France. In order to avoid a lot of formal delays regarding the export of cultural heritage, Ramses II was registered as an ordinary patient who travels abroad for treatment. The people of Egypt are quite cunning and pragmatic people. When the authorities decided to introduce a new roof tax, citizens began to massively dismantle the roof of their homes. And when new ones were built, they were specially erected without a roof, since you cannot pay taxes for such unfinished housing. Due to the fact that even in the coldest season the temperature here does not fall below 14 degrees, it is not so difficult to live under canopies. The local Red Sea is deservedly considered the cleanest and sunniest in the world along with the Dead Sea in Israel. Moreover, the Red Sea is favorably distinguished by its rich flora and fauna, which makes this place not only very beautiful, but also very attractive for divers from all over the world. The list of interesting facts about Egypt would not be complete without mentioning the national symbol of the country. The steppe eagle is considered to be it, which is reflected on the state emblem. The history of the appearance of this symbol goes back to the time of Salah al-Din, Saladin, who in the 12th century ordered to hang his coat of arms on the walls of Cairo. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to watch another interesting video.